Good afternoon. My name is Lynne and this is my reflective video for my recent concert performance practice 2. I'm going to frame it as a question and answer as if I was being interviewed. So it's a self-interview. So on Tuesday, I did my performance of 2 pieces from CPP2. I performed In a Mellow Tone and Tenor Madness. Overall, if an honest appraisal is, it was not my best effort. I don't believe it really shows quite what I'm capable of. I think there were some aspects that worked okay. It possibly reflected how my semester has been, and it became a little bit chaotic due to circumstances beyond my control. And there's some lessons that I can take away from this particular performance. I don't think it was my best effort in terms of overall performance. I know that I'm capable of better. However, I think it was an accurate representation of the lack of preparation that I have given to some aspects of the course this, particularly this last part of the term or semester, and realistically managing to get the 2 pieces with the group that I'd put together was an achievement in itself. So walking on stage, I believe that I wanted to deliver 2 pieces in a slightly different way, and that could possibly have been, that definitely is an area I need to work on, and yes, I could have done things a little differently. I think that I felt very uncomfortable. I'm not quite sure why I felt so uncomfortable. I do know that I had an extremely dry mouth, and I had trouble actually singing and playing my flute because my mouth was that dry, and I felt that it was so uncomfortable that I completely messed up my lyrics for the first part of the song, which I know quite well, and that wasn't obvious. In terms of being a convincing performance, there's work to be done. So, breathing wise, concentration wise, the first song I just felt uncomfortable with the mix on stage. I didn't get enough rehearsal time with people, and I felt that what we'd worked on, as I've learnt through the CPP classes, that what you do in the rehearsal room doesn't always translate on stage, and I can certainly say that was definitely how it happened on Tuesday. It would have been nice to go back and watch the performance, even though I probably wouldn't have wanted to, just to quite see why I was so unsettled. I do know that one member of my ensemble was unavoidably detained, and so arriving late, there wasn't a real chance to get everybody together to chat, and I think being out of the assessment period, it was hard to get some of my younger members to focus, and we could have talked things through a bit. Anyway, that's my job as a band leader and a band director in that situation, to pull that all together, and in that respect I need to learn from that, and next time take a little bit more control over what I'm doing. I think that I had some interesting ideas. I had some good ideas. I do like the two versions of the songs that I tried to do. And in fact, the Tenor Madness version was actually simpler than the one I had intended doing. But in hindsight, it was still probably a little difficult for the circumstances in terms of being able to get everybody together to prepare it in time. So I still like the feel of the bossa for In a Mellow Tone, and there was some ensemble issues in that piece. The ensemble was supposed to stop basically except for the drums and the bass for the return chorus, and everybody kept playing. They were supposed to stop and just have the bass play the melody with the drums, so that I could then fill in the gaps in between. And I was so thrown by that, I started then playing over the top of the bass player, which wasn't how I'd ever practiced it, and wasn't what I intended to do on stage. So again, people remembering the form of the tune, I had a run sheet, I had charts. I found it somewhat frustrating that the attention to detail wasn't there, and I could not concentrate and pull it back together. So that was disappointing. Yeah, so in terms of recovery after mistakes, I feel that definitely that's just experience, and not being able to get together and do a lot of jamming with people and playing with people due to what's happened. I feel I would like to, by dropping back my study load this next semester, I'm hoping to work on that side of things, to just have more musical conversations with people rather than all this constraint under pressure. I believe one of the biggest takeaways from Tuesday is lack of preparation. I'll take that one on the chin. There certainly could have been more preparation. However, being outside the exam period, it was difficult to get people together to rehearse. I was also thwarted a number of times with trying to get my arrangements together as well. I had lots of ideas. In fact, I didn't present all my ideas on the day. I had to cut some of them back due to, again, circumstances beyond my control. So I think the biggest thing that I learnt from doing these two pieces is keep it simple. Simple would have been easier and more manageable. I still would have not changed In a Mellow Tone. I still wanted to perform it that way. However, the halftime funk feel for Tenor Madness, which I had originally intended to perform with some fellow sax players at a CPP proper day. I was going to call it the Crazy Sax Blues, but anyway, it didn't work. And it didn't work from a number of reasons. I changed the form of the song on the drummer because I felt that the actual timing of the recording I based it off was actually even harder than what I wrote. And I think that I don't think people were just comfortable with that feel, even though I had it very clearly in my head, and so did the drummer. So I would definitely consider a lot more preparation next time. But I also need to possibly cut myself some slack and go, well, my ideas were probably a little bit complicated for the time constraints I had, but I would still like to push myself and continue to grow musically and develop more as an arranger and a band leader. I think that simpler would have been easier in this circumstance, and that I need to adjust my performance expectations from my wishes and my ideas and when they come up against reality, I need to go right and just draw a line under the sand and go, that's the best thing I can do. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciated the opportunity to do this as a late assessment. Thank you.